Well, today's Thursday and Anita's going to see a friend give a piano lesson, and I'm going off for a walk. We're in Palmanova at the moment. Thursday the 2nd of February 2023. It's a bit chilly, but the sky's blue and I think I'm in for a lovely walk this morning. So, off we go. Bye bye.
See you later.
So I am down in Palmanova, but not by the sea. I'm actually on the opposite side, the outskirts of Palmanova. And I guess some people never come to this part. You can see we're actually out in the country. Fields on this side, cyclists going past me at incredible rate of knots. But this is the walkway which maybe you've seen me on before, and it goes all the way through Palmanova, on past Magaluf, and eventually goes towards Santa Ponsa. And it's a nice, safe way to walk. Just over there you might see some cars flashing by. That's the motorway. That's the motorway that will take you all the way past Pagera, and then in the other direction will take you right on into Palma. But this is a really nice walkway, nice, wide, spacious, and keeps a nice distance between us and the traffic, with lots of greenery, lots of foliage around, and in different parts with little activities for children and adults. In a video I did last week, I think it was, I talked about these concrete plinths which had got names on. So there are some here that don't have any names on. So these haven't been sponsored. So when the council was doing the sponsorship, which is quite a few years ago now, these didn't get any sponsors, I suppose. It doesn't look as though there's been any plaques on there. But I think probably as we walk along we might see some if we stay on this side. I don't really know how much people had to pay for the sponsorship, but it did seem quite a nice idea that people could make that little contribution. As far as this walkway is concerned, this sort of promenade, it's very gentle, so no steep hills. Just behind, actually, it's a little bit steep. Nisha and I used to cycle along it at one time, and that was a little bit of a pull when we had to go up there. But for gentle walking, it's really quite nice. And I'm sure if Anita was walking with me, she'd be telling you about all of these plants. She's going to be tinkling the ivories this morning. Just as we come down now, we start to get to the hotels. So we started fairly close at the top there, near to the Globales Mimosa Park. More Globales here. This one's on the right hand side here is the Palmanova Palace. And the shade actually is quite cool. I decided this morning I was not going to put a jumper on because as I was walking yesterday it did feel quite warm. Hopefully as I continue my walk, the temperature, or at least my body temperature, will rise a little bit. So all along this walkway, in different spots, there are little activities here. And these are not necessarily, some of them are for children, some of them are for adults. And there's just one of them. There used to be more. I think some of them have actually disappeared from along here. So just getting towards the entrance there of the Palmanova Palace, and some workmen outside doing something. And then right next to it is the Baleares Palmanova. So it's the Palmanova and the Palmanova Palace right next to each other. And nestled in between them is the Palmanova Church. We used to take the children at Christmas time to sing in a little concert there. Over to the left-hand side, over this way, we've got our medical centre. This is one of the bigger medical centres for the area. There's quite a few of them. They do these very well here, very modern. It's got its own ambulance, and if you want to go and see a doctor, that's one of the places you can go to, though lots of other places as well. If you need to go and have a blood test or a urine test, then that used to be the place we always went to. On the last couple of occasions, we've just gone to our normal doctor, and the nurse there would do the extractions, take your blood samples. Just panning around a little bit, so just as we go past the Hotel Palmanova, there's another little activity. It's a bit bouncy, it's got some big springs underneath it. So if you bring the children, something for them to run onto, and they can be playing on that while you're catching up with them. And we are a safe distance away from the road. And all the trees along here, which are relatively new because they've matured nicely. Relatively new in the fact they are probably only 10, 20 years old. But I suppose when they planted them, they were tiny little things. On the left here, this is the car park that Anita and I usually use when we're coming to Palmanova. Again, it's just on the outskirts, and there's a cafe there. It's referred to as Cafe Palmanova Esment. It used to be Amadippersment, and the sort of a charity organisation that runs it. So normally we'd be coming out of the car park and crossing the road here to the right, and then going down into Palmanova. But today I'm just going to go straight on. Just to the left again there It's the tennis academy, Villas. Let's see if the car stops. Yep. And I think last week as well I did a video when we were walking this way. This is the school. And down there we've got Palmanova. But I'm going to carry on. If you're going to be driving here while you're on holiday, do be aware that a lot of the speed limits have changed, and certainly if you're in or around towns, it's down to 30 kilometers per hour, which is about 20 miles an hour. It does feel very, very slow, but do be careful. They are putting up speed traps, and they don't really advertise themselves very well. They've got not easily spottable, and even the permanent cameras that there are I won't say they're hidden, they're just not as obvious as they are in the UK with big yellow bands on them. So here it's just a grey box by the side of the road, and that may well be behind bushes. So last week or the week before, I did walk this way on the other side of the road, so it will look a little bit different. Just seen a temperature flash up there, 11 degrees Celsius. It's early morning, well, reasonably early, it's 10:15, so the temperature will go up. It's actually a really good temperature for a walk. Hotel Gabarda. If we look down now on the left hand side, you can see some of those plaques that I mentioned. And I think as we go along the walkway, we'll see even more with names on. There's a pharmacy there, chemist shop. And 1, 2, 3 bus. Yesterday I went for lunch with some friends, and I went to the restaurant across the road there, which is called El Cruce. A really good menu of the day. I enjoyed the menu, but unfortunately the wine that came with it wasn't very good. So we had to order wine separately, and that bumped the bill up quite a bit. But the meal itself was very good. Pity about the wine. Up until December, we had a discount of 20 cents a litre on the petrol and diesel for your car. and as of January that was removed. It was only ever going to go till the end of December. So the prices now have gone back to normal. We're just going past a petrol station, and just for a reference really, tell you what the prices are. So they've got normal diesel, which is 176.9, that's obviously in euros, and normal 95 is 172.9. So 176.9 for the diesel, 172.9 for the petrol. So petrol's now a little bit cheaper here. Historically, petrol's always been more expensive than diesel. They refer to it as the Optima diesel, and the Optima petrol is a little bit more expensive. So I suppose is supposed to be higher quality diesel is 185.5, and higher quality petrol is 179.9. So that's the price that you end up having to pay. We tend to buy our petrol at the supermarket here, Carrefour, and if you have the Carrefour card, then you get an extra 8% discount, which is actually quite significant. And what they do is you fill up with petrol, and then 8% of that is added to your card, and every few months Anita gets a cheque to spend. You never guess what she buys with it. Those of you who know, yes, she buys a bottle of wine or 2 or 3. So, besides being a nice walkway, there's lots of benches here, lots of trees, which is particularly important during the summer months when it gets really warm. You do need the shade, but there's plenty of places to sit down and take a little bit of a rest. And the area we're in now is called Son Caliu. So to the right where I'm walking now is what I would call the old Son Caliu, and then to the left is the new Son Caliu. So when we first came here, none of the houses to the left existed. It's quite a nice community actually. They've done quite a nice job of it. There's no high-rise blocks of flats there. It's all houses or low-rise flats. See just from the gardens we've walked past, the whole area's very well looked after by the local council, I guess. Just across the road there's a few bars and things there, but we're coming to the main part of Son Caliu, which on the right hand side has restaurants, and one we're coming to right now was historically called Maison Son Caliu, and then changed its name to Al Carbon, but I think everybody now knows it back as Maison Son Caliu. And then there's another road which runs parallel behind this road, and lots of great restaurants down there. So it's only a short walk from Palmanova. Wow. But lots of places down there that you'll get really good meals. Fantastic fish and chips, fantastic Indian, Chinese, and there's Mallorquin type places as well. So good selection of restaurants. On the left hand side, which I'm walking past, is Mercadona. Mercadona is one of the big supermarkets here in Spain, and very popular with the locals. Very popular with us. It's one of our go-to restaurants. For us, one of the reasons I particularly like this one is because they've got a very good underground car park, which in the summer months it's really good. You don't get the sun heating up the car, and you can go straight from the shop to the car. So it's one of the reasons I quite like that one. And that will really, at the next roundabout, bring us to the end really of the urbanisation of Son Caliu. So there's the car park, and the apartments. It's as high as they get, so there's no really high ones here. And the garden, looking after the plants. Actually a little sign here on the lamppost saying cyclists, and it's telling you where you can go for a toilet, which is quite handy. Mercadona has public toilets. Always good to know, isn't it? We're heading now towards Costa de Blanes. I'm going to cross the road. Beautiful sunny day today. So the walkway, which going in this direction, has been on the left all the way along, now transfers to the right. This is a little Son Caliu garden centre. I'm not sure whether they're trading anymore. It all looks pretty empty. And all along this walkway, you'll come across roundabouts, and there are numbers. So this one's number 5, and number 1 is a long way down that way. And this is the residence of Mardavall. But I always like to take an opportunity. These little tracks that go off-piste a little. So the walkway carries on down there, and will take you eventually to the Mardavall Hotel. This is the Mardavall residence. This is where people live or have holiday homes. The Mardavall Hotel, which is just beyond there, is a very nice 5-star hotel. I'm going to walk down this way because this will actually take me down to the sea. Again, some benches here, very shaded. Some nice big trees. I was saying how cool it was. I must say I'm now feeling quite warm, so that's good. And the other advantage of walking down here is you get away from the sound of the cars, and you're just able to listen to nature. Well, you could if I stopped talking. So Anita will be busy for, I guess, about an hour or so. And then she said, rather than me walk all the way back, she will come and pick me up. That's nice of her, isn't it? So we came in her car today. It's much calmer than it has been. We've had lots of wind recently, and it's supposed to be coming back, unfortunately, this evening. But the temperatures are getting better. So around about 16 degrees I'm expecting today. Could be maybe even a little bit warmer. You can have a little sneak peek through here to the residents of Mardavall. These are private homes. And I'm guessing they've got their own little gate somewhere down here that allows them to come out. This is the end of the path, but not the end of where you can actually walk. So it gets a bit rough here, and but we can still walk along here. It's now a little bit more back to nature. And it does give you a warning. It says, beware, this area suffers from landslides. But we're in a really nice area, really pretty area. There's a nice little beach down there. It's covered with seaweed at the moment, but that will go later on. The sea's looking crystal clear, and we're at the area around Son Caliu, so just around the corner there we've got Son Caliu, and right in front of us we've got the beaches of Palmanova, and then in the distance we can just start to see Baleares. Nice and calm, and the water crystal clear. We've had a bit of rain, so a little bit muddy around here. Doesn't get a lot of sun to dry it out, so it will dry out there. And how pretty is this? Walking right by the sea as it just laps against the rocks, but it is a little bit unstable near the edge, so if you're coming here, don't go too near the edge. You're not actually quite sure what's solid and what isn't. And do mind your step, because there's lots of rocks protruding, and lots of roots as well that just stick out of the ground. But really pretty. And nicely shaded, so if you here in June or July, it's still not too bad to walk down here. So just over there you can perhaps see the Son Caliu beach, and then there's this little beach here. This is actually the road that comes down, so you can get to the beach that way, and that's this tiny little beach, which is sometimes there and sometimes not there, depending on how high the water is. There's a tree down here, but it's I don't know, it's been down for a long time, but it still seems to be managing to keep green, so roots must be in the ground somewhere. Just a little walk round. This is really, really pretty. Wow, there's somebody swimming in the sea over there. Still a bit too cold for me, I think. I do like this rocky outcrop here. It's really quite pretty. Just watch my step. And we're heading now towards, in the direction of anyway, Portals and Puerto Portals. And along this bit of road there are some really quite nice houses and hotels. So one of the reasons I wanted to come here today, there's a nice bit of rope here to protect us from going too far, is the hotel in front of us, which is the Punta Negra. This is this one over here, look. And it's always been a rather special hotel, but it's now been bought by a Chinese company. And so we're going to see a lot of development over there over the next year. They're opening in 2024, so I'm guessing it's going to be closed now for quite a while they do a lot of renovations. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a really upmarket place, which is in keeping with the rest of the area, because the hotel next to it, the Mardavall, is quite an exclusive place. And it's the Mardavall certainly is one that gets quite a few celebrities staying there, and is renowned for its cuisine. I think it has a Michelin star. Might need to check that, but I think it does. I think since the last time we came, we've got all of this rope, which probably is quite important actually, because this goes right to the edge and it's quite steep down to the sea. It's not a big fall, but you don't really want to make that fall. So this area is actually all pretty much trying to go more and more upmarket. I mentioned when we were in Palmanova a week or two ago that what used to be the Calablanca is now going to be rebranded, and it's undergoing a lot of renovation to turn it into one of the new Zell hotels, which is a joint venture between the Meliá group and Rafa Nadal, the tennis player, and it will be the first of their hotels offering a different sort of luxury in terms of Mediterranean living and Mediterranean food, and that too is going to be aimed at the gastronomy, the wonderful food that we enjoy here. Oh, I just can't resist coming to have a look at the water, the sun glistening off the water, really bright actually, but really pretty. So that used to be the way you walked. They've put a rope across there directing you in a safer way. So hopefully the headland won't get eaten away as quickly as some of the headlands I've seen in the UK, where houses are toppling into the water. saw a young lady this morning in the UK who'd bought a narrowboat and was because she couldn't afford to buy a property, a home. She bought a narrowboat and done it up, and then bought a bigger narrowboat, and she was living on that. And I guess the similar thing is for people here is to live on their boats, and some of these yachts that we see out in the water, people do live on them. Getting a better view of the Ponte Negra, and they've got these little bungalows down at the bottom here, so they're going to be retained. There'll be a spa, there'll be exclusive suites and wonderful rooms there, so quite interesting to see how all of that pans out in the future. There's even a little jetty down there, I'm sure I've noticed that before. So they're going to start doing some heavy work around here. Actually getting now to the back of the Mardavall Hotel, that is. Morning. So here is a gate back of the hotel, so the clients can come out. I'm guessing that the hotel's closed now. You can hear a lot of work, or indeed it's under a little bit of construction in there. Workmen are going to be very busy getting it ready for the new season. Oh, another temptation to go and have a look at the water. Beautiful views here. And this is not not too unlike some of the nice country walks that we've done in the UK. Look at the rocks here. It's all sandstone. It's very, very soft, and so when it rains or when there's a storm, it easily gets eroded and then falls down into the sea. Quite like the idea that they put these ropes up. It does point out to people just how dangerous the edges are. Now we've got to come out here, and we've got a little bit of a path now. So we're going off the dirt onto a regular path, and that will take us back up to the road. And I was saying that they are starting work. I didn't realise they actually started work on the Ponte Negra, but there you go. They've definitely started work on the Ponte Negra. Big amount of material they moved there, and it's all been fenced off. This is a public path, so they've got to protect this area. I hope they don't damage any of the trees. I can see some of the trees that are there. They've put some protection around them, but could be a bit dangerous. They're going to pile material on them. This is a public pathway. It's in some parts it's actually in good condition. In other parts it needs a little bit of care. And it looks as though they need to come down and just clear some of the weeds away, some of the debris that's come out of the trees during the windy weather that we've been having. That great big mountain of rubble there wasn't there before, so that's all new, and just is evidence of the work that they're actually doing here at the Ponta Negra Hotel. Not sure whether it's going to remain Ponta Negra. Quite often when these different companies buy these hotels, they change the name. A brand new fence goes up and new graffiti goes on. Whoever does it must spend a fortune on spray paints. What a waste of money, a waste of the time, and a waste of everybody else's money who's got to repair it. And putting it there, nobody's going to see it anyway, so not many people use this path, I don't think. Well, I'm quite surprised that they've actually started the work here, Ponta Negra, and the scale on which they've actually started the work. I can't see over the fence, so I can't really tell you what's happening. Maybe I can put the camera over the fence. So I've got the camera really up high now, so I can't actually see what's being shown. So I'll have to have a look when it comes back to me. I'll put it onto the computer. Curious. We're nearly up to the road. We haven't actually travelled very far, but we've had a beautiful walk along there. Oh, the path gets a bit higher now, so maybe I will be able to see in. They are protecting the palm trees and other trees that are there. So clearing all that land for whatever's going to be replaced. So there's the old sign, Ponta Negra 4 stars. It was actually a very good 4 stars then, if it was only 4 stars. And this is the road that leads you down to the Ponta Negra. In the past we've actually used that road and gone down to the hotel, and we've had functions there. Masons have had their ladies' night there in the past. And there's the walkway. So if we'd carried on walking along the walkway, we would have come here. There's a roundabout, a new number, so we've gone from number 5 now to number 4, and this is the Mardavall Hotel, St Regis. The path carries on that way, and we could either go along the path or we could go along down there, and then there's a road which goes off just behind. But I think I'll just stick to the path for now, and maybe do that one on another occasion. Along that road that we're walking parallel to now, there are a number of houses, and I did mention before about the plaques. Here's one for the people who work at the Ponta Negra Hotel, and it tells you what the plant is, the tree that was originally planted there as well. And this is for the reception people from the Ponta Negra Hotel. So that's really quite nice that the hotel has paid to have these put here. And this one's the bar staff of the hotel. I'm going to carry on walking about 10 minutes before Anita finishes her lesson, so I really need to get to the end of this bit of the walkway. And you can see down there, there's some different, these are private houses along the way. What I can see though is a path down there, which on some future occasion, that's where I would like to go, I think. Investigate to see where that path goes. And this piece of land in between is just a curiosity to me. They obviously built the road here and it sort of bypassed the houses. But there's a strip of land here with the trees in. I'm guessing that's still part of the Blanes land. All of this area used to be, well, it is called Costa de Blanes. We're entering now the coast of the Blanes, and that is a particular family, the Blanes family. And here we've got some more diversions, if you like. So some exercise machines, all different sorts that you can use. These are not for children, these are for people like you and me. It says 14 plus, so for older people. Some cycling machines there, get your muscles working. And then they do have some little things for the children. They look as though they need a little bit of renovation. And the adult ones look really quite good. So let's try and remember that path over there. It's one I want to investigate, see where that one goes. I might not be able to see the cars, but they're running right to the side of me. So again, it just makes it really quite safe, particularly if you've got children. They can't dash out into the road, and we are protected from them. Well, I'm glad Anita suggested that she'd come and pick me up, because otherwise I'm going to have to do all of this walk back. There's a little path that runs 90 degrees, this walkway, and there's a couple of park benches on there. That's quite nice. And for many people, I would think, if you come here in June, July and August, you don't see a lot of this greenery, a lot of this grass, because it's all burnt off by then. But Mallorca does have its moments when it looks really pretty and really green, and now is one of them. And also, we're getting the yellow flowers, wildflowers that are coming out, and they look particularly pretty. And then round about now as well, we start to get the almond blossom, which is white or a pale pink. Glad I put my hat on. The sun is coming down now. And a huge crane in front. On the other side of the Palma, there was one of those huge cranes, and someone had decided that they needed to have their boat in a safe place. So they got one of these cranes to lift it on their balcony of an apartment. So, I mean, not a huge boat, but quite a significant boat. lifted up to a 3rd or 4th floor apartment, and obviously the neighbours are not too happy about it, worried about whether the structure could actually hold it. Anyway, as far as I know, it's still there. Some more exercise machines. This is like a rowing machine. And then little activities for the children. That is a big crane. Not sure what they're lifting, can't see anything. And the chains are just dangling. So all of this area referred to as Costa, coast of Blanes, Costa de Blanes. Across the road, one of the original houses. It's been here longer than any other buildings around here, I would think. I did once actually go and meet the old man Blanes there once. Many moons ago. We're getting fairly close to Marineland now. So one of the places, if you nearly got run over. If you're staying in the sort of Palmanova Majorca area, one of the attractions you've got is Marineland, where the dolphin show. It's still a little bit controversial, I think. Certainly when I put videos of the Marineland dolphin show, I get a lot of people who are extremely negative. On the other side, I get a lot of positive reactions. In fact, the positive reactions far outweigh the negative ones. And well, they do a lot of scientific research, and they get the public close to the animals. On the other side of that is, should these animals be in such confined spaces? And that's the controversy. So the walkway actually crosses the road here, and you go across the road and the walkway is on the other side, but I'm not going to do that. You can see there's a little path here. So I'm just going to take this little path, and this will take me down towards the car park of Marineland. And what used to be Mood, and a sporting tennis player, and also the beach of Costa de Blanes. Many people sort of miss the beach of Costa de Blanes, but it's a nice little beach. It's quite good for snorkeling. And right here we've got the tennis club. So if you like a game of tennis, then this is one of the places you can come. And a nice car park. This is more to the tennis club, and then stretches on towards Marineland, and then it's just a general car park for the area. So it's now 11 o'clock, so Anita should be finishing a lesson now. I won't be walking too much further. So this car park here is a private car park specifically for the sporting tennis club, so fine if you're using it, but don't park here if you're not. You might end up getting towed away, or whatever they do here. So lots of things going on here, and there is a cafe bar there as well. And this used to be Mood, and it's changed its name now to UM. I can't actually read it, the sign is not very clear. UM Beach House Portals. Sporting club, gym, so it's all part of the same complex by the looks of things. Chambao. And then we've got more tennis courts down here. So people were asking me what's happened to Mood. Well, I'm not sure really what's happened to Mood. It looks like it's become part of the sporting tennis club. Noticed the bus came in there. That was unusual. Maybe it's not unusual. There we go. Perhaps need to look it up to find out a little bit more about it. Radio antenna there, big mobile phone antenna by the looks of things. That's really noticed that before. I'll check my phone now, see if Anita sent me any messages. Says she's having the coffee. Right, so I'm going to send her a message. So I'm just going to turn the video off now, and then I'll catch up with you in a few seconds. So getting near to the end, and Lisa's going to pick me up soon. Just have a look over there. That's the Puerto Portals. On another video, we'll go down there. And just before that, though, just right in front of us, we've got Marineland, and then there's a beach there. And it's a public beach. Anybody can go to the beach. Goes right by the side of Marineland. And that's the beach I was saying is really quite nice for snorkeling. So I'll just walk down through the car park, lots of spaces. And it looks as though they've just painted the lines for the cars down here. It says cars are banned, prohibited cars banned. I think that might be on that side because it's for buses. And blue lines in general indicate that you have to pay to park. Though in some areas, and this area is one of them, you don't actually pay in the winter time. But you do need to look very carefully on the machines to make sure they actually seal the machines up. They put metal over them so you can't actually pay. So this is the reason it's prohibited is because the coaches will be dropping people off. So if you're away from this area, there'll be coach trips to bring you to Marineland. So the car park continues to extend down there, but this little pathway here takes you down to the beach. So I always like to have a look at the beach. And it is quite a nice little beach down here. My curiosity though is about a boat that was crashed up against the shore. Just wondering whether it's still there. If it is, it'll be a long time it's been sitting there. I'm guessing there wouldn't be much of it left now anyway. Storms of winter would have smashed it to pieces. But we'll see. It's just around the corner down here. You can see the sea beautiful. A few little ripples now, that's indicating the wind's getting up a little bit. A nice breeze. And that's what's giving us the ripples. And quite often there's various sporting activities, sea sporting activities that go on here. Oh, and the boat's gone by the looks of things. It was over there. There's a yellow barrier. So the boat is actually not there anymore. I think there may be some remains of it on the side. This is the beach. And there's some parasols out there, but obviously no parasol on the top now, just the poles. And this is a nice little beach to come to. Nice, partly sandy, partly stony, pebbly. Quite nice for walking in the water, and great for snorkeling. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little video, walking pretty much from Palmanova all the way almost to Puerto Portals. We're in Costa de Blanes, and we're down on the beach there. So thanks very much for watching. I'm just going to be waiting for Anita now, and she can come and pick me up, and I think we've got to go shopping. Anyway, bye for now. See you in the next one.